In this lecture, we will discuss about factorization of quadratic equations. First by splitting the middle term, and later we will do by using the quadratic formula. So first we will see by using the method splitting of middle term. Now in splitting the middle term, first we will see the standard form of quadratic equation. In this, there are two cases in splitting the middle term. First is when the coefficient of x square is 1, means a is 1, and second is when a is not equal to 1. Okay, so we will see some examples. First we will see when a is equal to 1. Then in that case we will concentrate on this c. So some questions I have written over here. First case, you see here a is equal to 1. So when a is equal to 1, we will find out the factors of this constant and we will proceed. So let's take first example, that is x square minus 11x minus 12 is equal to 0. This equation we will compare with the standard form and we will see the coefficient of x square is 1. So we will concentrate on this c, that is minus 12. Now let's see the factors of minus 12. They are plus minus 1, plus minus 12. We will see in the combinations. Plus minus 2, plus minus 6, plus minus 3 and plus minus 4. We have to choose two factors of this minus 12 such that their sum is equal to minus 11, that is the coefficient of the middle term, and the product is minus 12. So the minute we see this 1 and 12, it should strike us, it can give us minus 11. So the two factors of minus 12 we will choose as minus 12 and 1. Now minus 12 we are choosing because the sum we require the negative one. Okay, so negative plus positive will be negative here because the bigger factor is negative. So minus 12 plus 1 is minus 11 and minus 12 into 1 is minus 12. So what are the two factors? Minus 12 and 1. We will rewrite this middle term in the form of these two factors. So x square minus 12x plus x, because minus 12 plus 1. 1x we can write as x and minus 12 is equal to 0. Now from these two we will choose a common factor, that is x. So left out is x minus 12. From these two nothing is common but we can take it as 1. So plus 1 is common, so this will be as it is. Now from these two terms, what is common? X minus 12 and left out is x plus 1. So what have we observed? When the given equation has the value a as 1, means the coefficient of x square is 1, we will directly break this minus 12 into two factors and ultimately we are reaching to two linear factors. We have to find out the value of x. So each linear factor we will equate by 0. So that will give us x minus 12 is 0. So the value of x is 12 and the second factor is x plus 1 is equal to 0 will give x is equal to minus 1. So this is the first type of splitting the middle term. Now in these three examples we will see a is not equal to 1. So whenever a is not equal to 1, the process will change a little bit. We will multiply a and c. So we will not concentrate only on c. When a is not equal to 1, then we will multiply a and c, and whatever product we are going to get, we will split that number into two factors in such a way that the addition of those two factors should be the coefficient of the middle term. So let's take the second example. At the same time, if we see the question, And if there is any denominator in any of the terms, we will try to remove that denominator by multiplying the whole equation with the LCM of the denominator. If it is one denominator, if more than one denominator, then we will multiply by the LCM of all the denominators. So let's take the second example, that is 2x square minus x plus 1 upon 8. So the very first thing, we will rewrite this, then only we will apply the rule. So why will we rewrite? Because this is 8 and we will write it in the standard form. It is in the standard form, but we want to remove this 8. It will actually help us to do our calculation easily. So this we will multiply the whole equation by 8. When we will multiply the whole equation by 8, 8 2s are 16 minus 8 into 1. This is coefficient of this is minus 1. So this will give us minus 8x and plus 1 upon 8 into 8 will be 1. So our new equation is 16x square minus 8x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now this we have to solve it by splitting the middle term, but we will see that since a is not equal to 1, so we will multiply this a and c. Here c is 1. So 16 ones are 16. It means that we have to break this 16 into two factors. Split the middle term means you have to write the middle term in such a way so that the factors what you are getting from here will match with this. Clear? Now 16's factors. We will write over here. The factors of 16 are plus minus 1, plus minus 16, then plus minus 2, plus minus 8, plus minus 4. Because 4 4s are 16. Now you require minus 8. So the minute we see this 4 and 4, it should strike us that it can give us minus 8. So 16 we will break as minus 4 into minus 4. We are not choosing one positive, one negative. Why? Because the last term is positive. Okay, and when you multiply it by this first term, that also is positive. So the two factors which you are choosing, both should be either positive or negative. That also depends on the sign of the middle term. Now the middle term is negative. So the sum of these both negative terms will be a negative term only. So this is minus 4 plus minus 4, that is minus 8. So which two factors we have chosen? Minus 4 and minus 4. So you will rewrite it as 16x square minus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now rest of the process is same. Choose the common factor from these two. 4x is common. So here 4x is left out minus 1. Now from these two, as I said, if nothing is common, then 1 is common. But since the first bracket and the second coming bracket should be same, so this sign is negative. But here it is positive. It means from this positive, we will take out the negative term. It means from these two, not only 1, but we will take minus 1, not 1. So minus 1 is the common factor. Here this will become positive and this minus 1 will become negative because already minus is gone out. So now, as I said, these two should match. So 4x minus 1, 4x minus 1. Now, after getting this, we will equate both the linear factors with, first we will rewrite it as the linear factors 4x minus 1 and 4x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now when each factor you will equate by 0, you will get the value of x as 1 upon 4. Since the factors are same, it means that both the values will be equal. Now what have we observed? That when there is a denominator, we will try to remove it, and further this we can solve it by splitting the middle term. In this case, when we are looking at it, it is splitting the middle term. Sometimes splitting the middle term and the identity based questions are also same. So this question could have been done by using the identity also. The second identity a minus b the whole square, in which two squares are there. So if one wants to do this question by using the second identity, can be done. Or if you are trying to use it, splitting the middle term, you can do that also. In some equations, we will see there is a radical sign. Now the next example is of that type. Let's take the third example, 3x square minus 2 root 6x plus 2 is equal to 0. We'll compare it with this standard form. Here also, a is not equal to 1. So same process, we will multiply a and c. And when we multiply a and c, it is given 6. But if you see the middle term, it is 2 root 6. So we have to take the factors of 6 in such a way that their addition is minus 2 root 6. So 6 is basically root 6 square. It means that 6 can be broken into two parts and both are root 6. So what we have to do, we have to choose these two factors, but both the factors should be negative. Since their multiplication is a positive term and their addition minus root 6 plus minus root 6 will give us negative term, that is minus 2 root 6, and that only we want as the coefficient of the middle term. So we will rewrite this middle term as minus root 6x minus root 6x plus 2 is equal to 0. We have taken this 2 and 3 because a is not equal to 1, and that 6 we have broken into two factors. What is that? Minus root 6 and minus root 6, because minus root 6 into minus root 6 will be positive 6, and that only is a need. Now choose the common factor. When we are choosing the common factor, you see that first number is 3 and second number is root 6. So this root 6 can be written as root 2 into 3, and we know the law. It can be further written as root 2 into root 3, and from 3 you require something common, so that 3 can be written as root 3 into root 3. So what is common from this root 3, 3 and root 6? Root 3 is common. So from these two terms we will take root 3 and x, that is common. So from 3, root 3 is gone. So what is left out is root 3. So here it will be root 3x left out. From root 6, root 3 is gone, common. So what is left out? Root 2. So minus root 2, x is already gone as a common factor. Similarly from these two. Now this sign is negative and this is positive. It means that you have to choose the negative sign out. From root 6 and from 2, what is common? 2 can be written as root 2 into root 2. And root 6 is root 2 into root 3. So what is common in this case? Root 2 is common factor. So from these two, root 2 is common with a negative sign, because this positive we don't require. As I told you earlier also, this bracket and the coming bracket should be same. That is why this plus sign, we will take out one minus sign and then minus will be left out. From root 6, root 2 is gone out. Root 3x is left out. And from 2, minus root 2 is gone. So minus root 2 is left out. So this is now the equation. Again, from these two, we will choose the common factor. Root 3x minus root 2, root 3x minus 2 is root 2 is common, and what is left out? Root 3x minus root 2. So this question also can be done by using the identity. Why? Since you are getting the same linear factors. This shows us that If a minus b and a minus b are the factors, we can say that this is actually the expansion of a minus b the whole square. Or if we are using it by splitting the middle term, then too we are getting the same linear factor. So either by splitting the middle term or by using the identity, we can do these type of questions. So ultimately, each linear factor we will equate by 0 will give us the value of x. So x is equal to root 2 upon root 3. Further can also be written as root 2 upon 3. Now see in this last example, a as well as c, both are having the radical sign. So we will see when we multiply a and c, what we are getting, and that we will split. A is not equal to 1, we will multiply a and c, that is root 2 into 5 root 2. Now this will be 5 into root 2 into root 2 will be 2. So we have to break this 10. We have to find the two factors of 10, and when we write the two factors of 10, 1 10, 2 5, of course plus and minus. The minute we say 2 and 5, we will choose those two factors only, because 2 plus 5 is 7 and 2 into 5 is 10. So just notice this is root 2 and the factors what we are choosing are 5 and 2. So 2 we will write first, 2x, and for our convenience we will write 5x later. There is no hard and fast rule that which factor we are writing first, but for our convenience what we will do, we will write 2x first. So it will be easy to choose the factor, otherwise there is no hard and fast rule. So this we will rewrite it as 2x plus 5x plus 5 root 2 is equal to 0. Now we have to choose the common factor. From root 2 and 2, root 2 is common, x square and x is common. So root 2x is common, left out is x plus root 2. Okay. Now from these two, 5 is common and left out is x plus root 2. From these two terms, x plus root 2 is common and left out here is root 2x and here is 5. Now we will equate both the factors by 0 and each factor will give us one root. So first factor is x plus root 2 is equal to 0 will give us x is equal to minus root 2. Second factor is root 2x plus 5 is equal to 0 will give us the value of x as minus 5 by root 2. This further can be rationalized or we can leave the answer like this also.